Staining the skies red, this is your look at the Gentle Giant Limited Star Wars Sith Trooper 1/6 scale mini bust. Designed, modeled, and prototyped using top-of-the-line 3D technology, this 1/6 scale mini bust represents the next in their new collection from the ongoing Star Wars saga. Each mini bust is hand-cast, hand-painted, and hand-numbered with a limited edition certificate of authenticity. May the Force be with you. This statue is limited to only 2,000 pieces worldwide. Before we take to the review of the 6th scale mini bust of the Sith Trooper, the first thing we're going to obviously want to do is figure out how big the bust actually is. If you're in the market of picking this one up for yourself, stopping the tape measure to the very top of its helmet, revealing to you, the viewing audience, you're looking at the Sith Trooper standing, probably not the best word to be using because after all he's missing his lower half. But you're looking at the bust being 6.5 inches in height. Switch that to centimeters, and you're looking at the bust being 16.5 centimeters tall. The bust comes with a couple of things. Let's have a look at those things right now. Normally, we don't get these. These are product catalogs, and I always get a little excited when you see product catalogs. Opening it up, and you'll see a whole array of different busts that Gentle Giant and Diamond Select are releasing. Some of these you've seen before here on this channel, like, for example, that Kylo Ren, that Darth Vader. I think we just recently had a look at the Mandalorian, and of course we just had a look at Luke there on the side. We can flip it around, and it says, why join the guild? Multiple tiers of membership, premier guild exclusive items, access to convention exclusives. Members get 5 to 15% off purchases. Members get $25 to $80 in coupons. Earn points for every dollar spent. Top tier, choose a free bust or statue. If that seems tantalizing for you, you can head on over to www.gentlegiantlimited.com/premier-guild/. You can sign up today. I always like the fact that we do get ourselves product catalogs. It happens few and far between. What doesn't happen few and far between is we do get ourselves a trading card. The trading card on the front depicts the Sith Trooper. You see, it's the same image. Although this one's a little bit darker in color, it's kind of got a little more of a salmon color going for it. You flip it around onto the back, however, and on the back you've got a certificate of authenticity indicating that Star Wars Sith Trooper 6th scale mini bust is very limited to only 2,000 copies worldwide. I know what you're thinking. I could postpone and pick this guy up later. 2,000 goes pretty quick, let me just say. And 2,000, before you know it, will be gone. You may have to start looking for this guy online. Now, this one was provided again by the folks over at Diamond Select. This one is marked of 31 out of that very limited release of 2,000 copies. Carefully picking up the statue, and let's get a closer look at the bottom base here. It's not really much to be looked at, so we're not going to spend a whole lot of time discussing it. Basically just a black rounded base with, as you can see, an angled off portion that goes from what would have been his lower half and then goes right transitioned into this bottom base. Really, transitioning is not the best way to describe it, as the color certainly isn't transitioned at all. A very stark cut here where the red stops and the black continues down below. We flip the statue up, and on the underside we've got Gentle Giant Limited Star Wars Sith Trooper 1/6 scale mini bust. And if you recall, the certificate of authenticity had the very same number listed, 0031, at a very limited again release number of 2,000 copies. You also do have yourself some rubberized feet. People have asked what the material is. The best way I can describe it is it's almost like a foamy rubber. You can really feel it when you run your finger across it. But it's just the right amount of padding that when you are putting it on a surface, for example, your two things aren't going to happen. You're not going to be damaging and scuffing up the bottom, especially that little inked in number. You don't want to damage that, especially if you're looking to sell or give this away later on. People are going to obviously want to be able to know the number. So the feet lifted up just enough that you're not going to be wearing that away. And certainly on the other end of it, if you're going to be putting it down on a wood surface or any surface you decide to display this for yourself, those extra little padded feet here prevent any scratching when, of course, you're shifting and moving the statue around. So now looking at the Sith Trooper himself, as you can see, he's packing some serious firepower in his hand. His firearm of choice is, of course, the STW-48 blaster. You can see it's all been done in black with some little allowances added in red. Now, I'm thinking the majority of this has all probably been started in this black, and then talented artists with paint skills and paint brushes have then gone in there and painted all this vibrant red that we're going to be talking about in a second. But as for the blaster itself, you can see, like I said, is all primarily all in black, with a few little areas like the back stock here, the clip, little areas on the front is all done in red. I also wanted to draw your attention to the fact that there's just as much of it on the inside as there is on the outside. Of course, not only is there just red, there's a little bit of silver that's been added there as well. The end nozzle has been painted in silver. And then as well, there's these few little things down below. These are its coral bolt launchers. These were actually taken from Wookiee's bowcaster technology. So that's really cool, the fact that they've actually got that on their blasters. One thing I do want to commend Gentle Giant, and of course through that Diamond Select for doing, is when you look at statues like this, you may be somebody that wants to display a statue the way I've currently got it going right now. But if you are somebody that likes to display, say, their statue this way, or even this way, there's just as much paint that gets used on the inside of the blaster as there is on the outside. So they really factor that in, because they never really know how somebody's going to be displaying their statue. Some people may be displaying it like this. Other people may be displaying it like this. And it'd be really disappointing if all that red got left off. That's certainly not the case here. Now, as for the actual design of the Sith Trooper, it lends a lot of it from very much that later trilogy designed Stormtrooper. I always sort of felt it looked like a duck. I sort of still feel it looks like a duck. It's not as smooth as maybe the newer Stormtrooper designs. You can see added to it is all these additional grooves that runs around the front section of what you could consider its bill, goes all the way up through the eyes and around the top section of the helmet, where it gets, again, all some additional detailing that the normal Stormtroopers don't seem to have a whole lot of. Again, a lot of this is just being brought to the forefront using this very vibrant, bright red. It's almost like a fire truck red. I do like the panel lining of black that they added down below. The little slotted areas there on the side have all been painted black. And even the visor area is giving a nice sheen coat of black paint. It really does do a good job of reflecting the light. When I'm looking at this particular armor, for some strange reason, I'm thinking Bram Stoker's Dracula. The armor that Dracula would wield was very similar to this design and very similar in color. I don't know why I get that vibe when I'm looking at it, but all these little grooves and stuff, the little painted notches, and of course the vented areas where he doesn't have the armor has all been done and left in black. I'm guessing, again, most of it is probably all done in black, and then they've just gone in there and painted it. The red from a color point is really shiny, so it does great jobs. When certain light's hitting it, it reflects it off rather nicely. The only downside, though, to it is some of the areas I've noticed are fingerprint magnets. You may not see it as much, but you definitely do see, there's a little bit of oil from my fingertips. I mean, that usually is the case with a lot of these busts. As you're picking them up, as you're moving them around to different places, I like to then put them down on where I decide to display them. And then I go back with like a little chamois cloth and I just sort of wipe away all the fingerprints, because certainly things like this, I think more the black is the thing that picks the fingerprints up the most. But especially when it comes to shinier statues like this, all done in red, I find you see a lot more of the fingerprints. So certainly just a recommendation on my part, if you do pick up statues like this and you don't really like fingerprints, put them down, decide where you want to put them, and just sort of give them a nice wipe down with a little soft chamois cloth, and it'll do away with all of those fingerprints that I was talking about in this review. Stormtrooper design certainly has come a long way from the original trilogy, where back then you'd have the likes of a Stormtrooper, a Scout Trooper, a Snow Trooper, and occasionally an Emperor's Royal Guard. Nowadays, it seems with every new Star Wars movie or Star Wars series comes in a new trooper with a different name and different armor. Face glance comes in the Sith Trooper, and it may look like a First Order Stormtrooper, just only colored in crimson red. And quite the contrary, when you look real close to this, as I did my best to show you in this review, it has all these real interesting contoured lines that have been added to the helmet, that have been added to all the plates of armor. In fact, the only place that doesn't seem to get a lot of it is the back of its torso, which I guess looks the closest to being a First Order Stormtrooper. Of course, the artist, that talented artist at Gentle Giant, went in there meticulously and painted all the vibrant red. And of course, what's different about this one is his weapon of choice, the firearm, the STW-48, that you can see he's securely holding in his hands. Now, even though technically we're only getting half the trooper here, we're getting at least the better half. I don't think anybody would really want to have the lower half legs of a Sith trooper sitting on their shelf, but just as much detail goes into the top half as it would if you got the entire thing as one statue. The benefit, of course, of these, as I've always said in these reviews, is that the mini busts are ideal for smaller space collections. You can put this on the shelf and you get just as much detail, you just don't get all of the trooper when you're putting them on display. Let me know down below in the comment section what you guys think of the Sith Trooper 1/6 scale mini bust. A big thank you again to the folks over at Diamond Select that provided the sample of Sith Trooper that we're having a look at in this review. It should be available right now in comic book stores and online as well. So let me know what you guys think of this. And the question for today's video is, what is your favorite designed trooper that of course, is enlisted by the Empire? Personally, I've always been a big fan of the Return of the Jedi Scout Trooper. I would say that's probably my favorite trooper design. But what is your favorite trooper design? Let me know down below in the comments section. Also, if you're new to the channel and you're liking all the content you're seeing, because I know there's really a lot to be taking in, make sure, if you haven't done so already, to hit that subscribe button down below. Turn the bell notification on and keep those peepers ever peeled, because Monday to Friday, 12 p.m. and 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is when you'll find new videos popping up on this channel. And we're going to be doing a whole bunch of new statue reviews lined up and coming your way. So as always, keep those peepers peeled. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.